President Obama's high-stakes showdown over the crisis in Syria. Flurry of activity this morning as the U.S. and Israel conducted a missile test in the Mediterranean. This as the White House pulls out all the stops to persuade skeptical members of Congress to authorize military action. And Syrian President Bashar Assad is publicly taunting President Obama. ABC's Martha Raddatz has all the latest from Washington. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. This will be one of the biggest tests of President Obama's presidency, and the administration is working nonstop to try to gain support from Congress and the American people.
The president reached across the aisle to make his case, meeting with two of his harshest critics in an effort to gain momentum for congressional approval to use military force against Syria.
I think we have found some areas that we can work together, but we have a long way to go.
We urge the president to up his game and inform the American people what does it mean if Assad wins and the opposition loses.
While Senator McCain has criticized the president for not taking enough action in Syria, he is now urging his colleagues to support the resolution.
A vote against that resolution by Congress, I think, would be catastrophic because it would undermine the credibility of the United States of America and the president.
Meanwhile, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, looking poised and immaculately dressed, came out in defiance, telling the French newspaper Le Figaro that President Obama has no proof chemical weapons were used. Assad also issued a stern warning about Western retaliation. The Middle East is a powder keg, and the fire is getting closer, he said. No one knows what will happen. Everyone will lose control once the keg blows up. Chaos and extremism will spread. The risk of a regional war exists.
Today, top congressional leaders will be summoned to the White House. George, this is a full court press.
No question about that, Martha. But what about these alarms that went off this morning when Russia reported a missile launch over the seas near Syria?
Russia first to report it, and then the Israeli Ministry of Defense confirming there was a long-range missile test this morning. They do these kinds of tests occasionally, but this is clearly a very sensitive time to be testing a missile and only adds to the tension in the region, George.
It sure does, Martha. Thanks very much.